Hi. I'm TGH. I may or may not be the person who just did the previous run. So we've kind of done a bit of a switcheroo. So now Ice is the runner, and I am the lowly commentator. The lowly commentator.
Oh.
Okay, strange. All right.
Uh-oh. Am I live now? Hi. Hi again. Hi. Again, my name is Iceblue. Iceblue, whichever you want to call me. My commentator already introduced himself without me, apparently. But yeah.
Yeah, how rude of me.
I will be running Zelda 2 100% all keys, 1cc, and what that stands for is 1 credit clear, so we will not be taking a game over in this run, or so we hope. But yeah, before I start, I do want to make a quick statement, and I believe my commentator is on board with me.
Yes.
For every death that I experience during this run, and for those who know this run, or those who know this game casually, this game is very, very difficult. It is very relentless. But for every death we experience during this run, I'll be donating $5 for each death I experience. If you want to join in on that train, feel free. So, we are donating to a fantastic cause.
Yeah, that includes intentional deaths as well. So, like, especially like around Palace 4 or so, there will be intentional deaths.
And yes, I will be donating for those intentional deaths. So, you're gonna get some nice content of lava baths.
Also, a bit of a. I just want to say real quick, bit of a precursor to this run. There are flashing lights. I would like to elicit a flashing lights warning to anybody who may be epileptic prone. Upon every death, spell acquisition, there are flashing lights, so please be wary of that.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard for us to tell you when they're gonna happen because it happens quite often. Every time you pick up an item, every time you pick up a spell, every single time you cast some of the spells, every time you toss a gem, it just, yeah, violent flashing. So please, for those who do have, epileptic, problems, I wouldn't say problems, I don't know, kind of hard, it's 1 a.m., sorry, words are difficult. But yeah, if you struggle with that, please, we will try our best to let you know when they're gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I did set up some kind of nice file names for this run. But yeah, Tej, you wanna count me down here?
Sure. All right, I'll start from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
All right. So this is Zelda 2. It is a side-scrolling game, and you may recognize a side-scrolling game if you've ever played, like, Zelda's Adventure or Wand of Gamelon, but it's not as weird.
Now, this is the OG Zelda side-scroller. So this game was created and conceptualized back before the Zelda franchise was really Zelda 1 was massively successful back in that era. However, the franchise still didn't really know exactly where it wanted to go with the franchise, so it was still in an experimental phase, and then it finally settled on the top-down adventure system that we know today for 2D Zeldas, which is Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, games like that. As a result, this game is kind of thought of to be a bit of a black sheep in the franchise, but at the time it really wasn't. It was it was different, but it wasn't quite the black sheep we know it as today. But
oh my god,
yeah,
Yeah, that mess up in Magic Cave.
Yeah, you have your basic combat abilities. You have like the sword swab. Yeah, the sword stab, the standing and crouching sword stab. Why did you pick me to be your commentator? I don't understand this.
For that very reason? What do you mean?
Yeah, Ice was actually navigating a dark room there without the lantern, which we actually get in Palace 1. The reason he did that was because experience is actually very carefully routed in this category to have as high of an attack as soon as possible. So if everything goes well, which it should in this run, provided the experience is allocated to the proper stats here, we should see attack 8 by the end of Palace 4.
Yep.
Yeah, so if that sounds massive to you, for those of you who've played this game, we utilize the end of Palace gem placements, which automatically raise the experience of any given stat, or it automatically raises it to the next threshold available. So like if that happens to be 8,000, it'll raise it all the way to 8,000 as long as it's past the second highest threshold there is, if that makes any sense. So
one thing I wanted to point out. But yeah, thank you for explaining that. So that first encounter, you saw me kind of like manipulate onto the like road tiles. We actually manipulate that to skip a forced encounter tile, which is called bubble skip. And it saves roughly, I think, 12 seconds or so, 8 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, that encounter has very high potential of killing, and we want to skip that.
Yeah, the water is very angry. The water, the bubbles have a very high chance to be fatal, for sure.
Yes.
Knockback in this game, you can't do anything during knockback, and the knockback lasts like a whole second. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's part of what makes this game so difficult. But here's Palace 1. Palace 1 is fairly
probably
simple.
The hardest palace in the game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, these bots actually do a whole cell's worth of damage, which is significant. But you may have also noticed that Ice canceled attack 2, or rather canceled life 2 and magic 2. Do not cancel attack 2. Do not cancel attack 2, please. But basically, we want attack 2 before we get anything. In fact, we want attack 4 before we get anything.
By the way, I just had that really, really sexy beam wrap. I don't know if you
beam wrap. Wow.
I don't know if you caught that.
I didn't even know you could do it there.
Yep. So beam wrapping is just it's like a swag technique. So certain areas of the game you can actually wrap the sword beam to the other side of the screen, and for these Tensus, since they die in one hit, you can just wrap it around the screen and catch a spawn and just kill them before they even make it to the entrance of the screen.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So we have to come up here and get this key, and we're gonna take attack 2 there. So getting back to what I was talking about before. So ideally, in the very first cave that you enter in this game, you get a P bag, or a bag of experience, basically, worth 50 points. But because we didn't get that, Ice actually went to Trophy Cave and got the trophy right away. So he doesn't have to do that later, but it gives him enough experience to make up for the lack of 50 experience there. And while still keeping his kills in line as well. So you'll notice that Ice is jumping over some of these Stalfos on the way back towards this last key that we're gonna get in Palace 1. There's a reason for that. So basically, we want the last bag, or we want a certain bag to drop on an enemy that only gives 30 XP instead of 50, so that we can get, if we were to get that P bag, it would be 20 extra experience compared to what we would have otherwise. So the kills are routed very carefully,
so we don't take any kind of damage from a bot here.
Yeah. Yeah, experience is very finicky for especially this first palace. here we have the candle, which is going to allow us to see in dark caves.
The candle basically just adds color to caves. Not that we need it. It just makes everything orange. But yeah, this palace is... I deem this palace as one of the hardest palaces in the entire run. Mainly because there's so many bots in this palace, the little blue blobs. There's so many bots in this palace, and bots are pure RNG. You can't do anything about a bot's movement. And since the bots do an entire square of damage, Nice, we got the bag.
Nice.
We want to basically try and avoid as much damage from them as possible. So that bag drop there actually ensures that we get attack 4 for the boss, or for the end of the palace.
Yeah, which is really nice, especially for Death Mountain. Death Mountain doesn't require attack 4, but it makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker to have attack 4 generally.
Makes your double stabs easier too. A little bit of a manipulation there to avoid the chewy wrenches, axes, clubs. I don't even care. Don't even want it. Don't even want the bag. Don't even want the bag.
Alright, so here's Horsehead. Horsehead should take 8 hits with attack 3. So there's 4 right there, and we'll let him come back on the screen a little bit, and there's the last 4. Done. Nice Palace 1. Honestly, a Palace 1 without dying is really nice, because just to add on to what Ice said earlier about the bots, their movements can't be telegraphed either. Like, their movements are not telegraphed, I should say.
Yep.
Also, that was really close to leaving on the same frame as the level up.
So that actually is, if I didn't kill those 2 extra bots, I actually could have soft locked there.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you leave on the same frame as a level up, you will soft lock the game. Like, the game will go to black as if you were transitioned, but it will never actually, it'll never reload the next area.
Oh, you also may wonder, you're also probably wondering, so, hey, Ice, you're supposed to be collecting 100% of the items and spells here. Why are we skipping Shield Town? There's a reasoning for that. And pretty much we're going to use Shield after... We're going to go get Shield after Palace 2 in order to set up a encounter manipulation to go to Palace 3, which saves about 10 seconds, I want to say. It's a little bit faster to do.
Yeah,
but we're going to come pick up the jump spell here.
Yeah.
We need that to make it through this next cave.
Yeah, I'm going to explain, like, just how some... Well, we call them walks. Like, basically just overworld traversal from one area to another, or area travel. So, basically, encounters themselves, like actual enemy spawns, are... they can be predicted to a certain extent. Like, their basic, like, type of actions, like whether they move randomly, whether they aggro you, whether they're gonna, like, sidestep you or whatever, can be predicted with enough experience in this game. So we want these walks to be as clean and as consistent as possible, and that's just a way to do that specific walk, is by getting Shield later and getting Shield after Palace 2, so that it makes the walk to Palace 3 later. Just an interesting bit of routing, just to make that more consistent. There are walks like that all over this run.
Oh, look, we got the cheating.
Yeah, nice. This was supposed to be a glitchless run. Damn it.
Alright, the louder ruined it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, got it. Wow, nice.
Okay.
Nice beam there. Somehow missed that ache there. Don't know how, but whatever.
Jump kick can be lethal.
Oh, got the fairy spawn here. Ah. Fairy spawn really kind of messed that walk up there, because I wasn't sure on how to...
Yeah, this walk is honestly one of the least consistent walks in the whole game, just because you have this bog here that slows you down. And it just...
got
Oh, got Bagu skip, nice.
Yeah, we got the Bagu skip, which loses us an extra bit of time. So this is Bagu. We just load up a text box and then we leave. We don't actually need to actually see what he says.
Yeah, we now know everything about Bagu, everything we'd ever want to know, and maybe some things we didn't want to know. But still, we know Bagu enough to let the Riverman let us cross. So
Justin Man would be proud of those tinks, by the way.
So I guess as we get the fairy spell here, which involves us getting a mirror and returning the mirror to the person who lost it over in this town, I'll explain like a little bit about how spawns actually work. So there are two types of overworld spawns in this game, like in terms of when they actually spawn. One of them is step-based, and the other one is time-based. So one will actually spawn based on how many steps you take, and the other one will spawn based on, like, it'll always spawn after a certain amount of time. This will be relevant as we try to manipulate walks a little bit later. So you may have noticed that on the Bagu walk, did I say fairy? I meant life, sorry. Oh, we get the life spell here.
I wish I got fairy this early.
Fairy. Yeah, that would be nice.
Wouldn't even need to talk to Bagu.
So, basically, you may have noticed that Ice took an extra step before the Bagu walk, like before the first set of encounters. That was to try and manipulate the second set of encounters to be a little bit more favorable. There is one instance in particular that is very notable later on where this comes into play. A walk we call the Dazzle. But that's
that walk is very, very nice.
Yeah.
This text box is unskippable, unfortunately.
Yeah. You know Bagu? Then I can help. You cross.
Alright, so coming up, we have Death Mountain. This is a very... Actually, I enjoy this segment here. We have new enemies in the game called Dairas, and they come in both a orange and a red form. The red forms throw axes at you, and the orange ones just kind of swing them. But we're gonna make them look like... Nice bag. We're gonna make them look like chumps. I did not mean to skip that, but that's fine. We'll just go through life 1. I meant to take life 2 here.
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll be alright.
411. Oh yeah. Yes, you can take some levels here in Death Mountain, but this is also totally fine. 411 is actually the optimal way to do it. If you don't take too much damage, and you know, I think Ice may be pretty good at not taking damage in this game. Just a hunch.
You wanna explain double stabs?
Yeah. So all right. So there's normally a cooldown period after you swing your sword where you can't do anything for a certain amount of time. Double stabs take advantage of the fact that after, like, if you do a standing stab in the air and then immediately land after, like, the completion of the sword swinging, you can do whatever you want after that with no cooldown. And we can do that to hit these Dairas and also other enemies later on in the run twice in quick succession. Double stabs are pretty nice. They're very technically difficult, though. They require 2 very quick actions on the controller, so they are tough to pull off, but definitely worth it if you can.
Yeah, like caves like this one, it's really hard to do double stabs just because of how the lineup of the Dairas are. Yeah, I would have kind of liked the jar there. I would have actually liked the jar there.
Oh. Yeah, so Ice actually knows exactly where he's going to get these drops. Another 1 in 8 key bag. Wow, okay, nice. Ice knows exactly where he's going to get these drops because he's keeping track of how many large kills he gets, or kills 50 XP and above, like they give 50 XP or more. So basically, every 6 kills of each group of enemies, so like that means either small, they give less than 50, or big, that give more than 50. Every 6 of those kills, he'll get a drop. On the bigger kills, he has a 50-50 chance of getting either a pea bag or a red jar, or a red magic jar. Likewise, on smaller kills, except it's 50 XP in a blue jar, and also the 50 XP bag only has a 1 in 8 chance to drop instead of a 1 in 2. But that's a little bit irrelevant. We don't really pay that much attention to the small drops. As Ice has demonstrated, we've had 2 small P-bag drops, but you don't really ever expect those, nor do you really care about those because they don't give as much XP.
Yeah.
But the 200 XP bags are actually quite they do
bag.
yeah, another one. They do quite a they help quite a bit. Also nice. Not even close.
Nope.
Not
All right,
even close.
we are in danger zone here.
Yeah, we need to be very careful leaving this cave because, like, you know, ordinarily by this point you wouldn't expect to get as lucky as Ice is getting right now, with every single bag so far being a P bag, or every single drop being a P bag. Like, you know, ordinarily you'd expect the magic jar to come every now and again to refill your life, but we didn't get that. So.
So it's for the first time in Zelda 2 history where I'm actually complaining about getting too many P bags.
Alright, so, yeah, there's one down. Just gotta be careful for this one. Just carefully trigger him, let him come down. He can come down to either the left or the right. And yeah, that'll work. And so we're gonna
coming up here, I'm actually gonna do an audio cue for a encounter. So just give me 1 second. I need one blue jar. Alright, so that audio cue kind of sets up a walk there to where the encounters just kind of stay above you.
Yeah, that was a time-based encounter that Ice just manipulated.
Alright, coming up here we have a terrible bridge segment where it combines a red Dyra and bubbles on the same screen. But first we're actually gonna, so the way that this game works with enemy AI movement, the AI actually reads your D-pad. So if you're jumping and you hold right, the AI actually reads that. And what we can do, if you jump and use Link's momentum to kind of jump over an enemy, the enemy will stop moving in place. And you can use that time to jump over an enemy like we just did with those 2 moblins. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's unlucky.
We had the homing encounter, as we call it. So we're going to do the backup strat here. So we want to have an encounter happen 3 tiles away from that swamp tile to set up a certain spawn pattern here. We're going to walk up here, and we got a double spawn there, and that sets up a 0 encounter before we enter the cave here. Nice. I still need to get at least 1 more blue jar here since I'm magic 1.
Medicine Cave is actually super difficult.
It's really good if you're trying to practice double stabs on Dyras.
Yeah, there's a certain way to handle it. There's a certain way to handle Medicine Cave, but it can be definitely lethal, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so I'm gonna kill, and I'm gonna actually go back for that.
Yeah, there you go.
I gotta... Stop. Jesus. Oh,
it's okay.
Oh, I turned
my
around.
God.
Are you serious?
Oh,
that's $5.
That's super unfortunate. Yep. I was about to say, like, you just pulled off an escape. You just escaped. You know what? In my heart,
yeah,
you did.
we escaped.
You did, because that was impressive either way.
I was trying. All right, so I owe chat $5.
And so do I.
But yeah, so we're gonna nice back spawn.
Nice back spawn.
All right, so we're gonna go and head over to Mido, and we're gonna turn in the medicine to pick up the fairy spell. But in the meantime, we're gonna go pick up the most broken tech in the entire game, the downstab. So downstabbing,
and by broken he means basically necessary to play most of this game.
So downstabbing, certain enemies actually don't have iframes, and you can actually mash your down, the down button on your D-pad and abuse the fact that enemies don't have iframes, which will allow you to basically just mash multiple hits. And we use that to destroy bosses, certain iron knuckles, and quite a few different things. Even the boss of P6, we just kind of like mutilate poor Barba and send Barba right back to the depths of lava. Alright, so we're gonna come in here.
Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is it okay for me to mention a donation and a couple things, if that's okay?
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Sure.
All right, first of all, I want to say a big thank you to Games Done Quick for the raid. It is greatly appreciated. And to all raiders, welcome in. We are hosting the Only Marathon, run by Fast Pace Events, running for a few days to raise money for the Trevor Project. So be sure to check the panels down below to see how to donate. We are currently sitting at $3,904 raised for the Trevor Project. So thank you very much for your generosity, and thank you all for joining us.
Chat, we can get 96. We can get 96 more dollars. Let's hit that 4K.
Yes, and then speaking of donations, we do have one donation here, $30 from Uncle Gramps with no comments, but thank you so much for your generous donation. Once again, Games Done Quick, thank you very much for the raid, and hello Raiders.
Nice homing encounter there, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, Ray. Appreciate that. Shoutouts to Ray and GDQ Hotfix. Alright, so here we are in this heart container cave. Alright, there we go. So now that we got that magic, we can actually cast Fairy, and casting Fairy allows you to skip the animation of picking up an item, like this heart container, for instance. So there we go. And that is actually at the cost of pretty much nothing. Because
we're gonna get a refill right in P2.
Yep, we get a free magic refill.
Alright, so this walk is very, very fickle. Oh god. Okay, we got a fairy spawn, but we avoided chaos. We are gonna take an encounter here on this road tile.
Yeah, it was a bit unlucky there. If you manage to get a back spawn there, like even just one of the encounters to be a back spawn, you can actually play that second section a lot more aggressively without getting an encounter. But yeah, we got unlucky there and unlucky on the next part, but not unlucky on the way into the palace. So here's Palace 2. You have anything to say about Palace 2?
Yeah, nobody dies to Helmet Head.
Yeah, no one ever has. But yeah, basically Palace 2 is
it's
God, there's really nothing notable about Palace 2, is there? There are the blocks, they're the falling blocks right before the glove, but yeah.
Palace 2 is a beast. There are a couple of rooms where we could take a death that we have have no control over, because there is a bot on the ledge of lava. And if you've played games like Ninja Gaiden, you would know that, developers back in the late 80s and, programmers back in the late 80s were actually evil people. And they decided that putting enemies on a ledge is a good idea.
Yeah, there are a bunch of ways to set up experience,
but yeah,
as long as
so right now we are 511. We want to be
here, it's
523 upon exiting, or at least I like to be 523 to set up, experience for Palace 3. Thank you. Trying to take as least amount of experience as possible. I don't want to get Magic 2 just yet.
Yeah, so as a result of getting so many tea bags, like, Ice can basically just coast through here without worrying about killing anything, really. So if his experience was a little bit lower, he would have to kill extra things here for experience. However, he doesn't have to worry about that.
Nice, thanks, bot. Alright. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
We're just gonna take a good bit of safety there.
Yeah, good reflex there. Honestly, a lot of people will just cast Fairy through that room to avoid that potential situation. So there's Magic 2.
Yeah, I don't even need to pick up the... Yeah, we don't even need to pick up the bag.
Yep, little free health refill there.
I am seeing in chat that they're saying that we're desynced.
They're working on
Okay,
it.
cool. Want to make sure. So yeah, this is my least favorite room in the entire run. This is the Tetris room.
Oh, it's the room. The room.
The Tetris room. I've had many of instances where I just had a straight 5-block fall directly, and I have to like... I have to basically just take the L. So this is a nice little tech using the fairy spell. So if you jump and cast fairy with an iron knuckle in the room, you can actually, it's a tech called fairy pushing. And basically what it is, the iron knuckle will stay permanently aggroed onto you as long as you don't go too high up, and you can just push the IK back with the fairy spell. And yeah, you just avoid all interaction with them. Oh, I missed that next stab.
It's okay, I'll just follow you around the room.
Yeah, that's fine. Now we have to worry about fire being thrown on me. Alright, so my experience is fine now. We want to be at 200 experience before we hit the boss of Palace 2. That nobody dies to, by the way.
Yeah, with enemies to spare, too.
Ugh. Thank you.
But as you see, like, Ice is just skipping, like, pretty much all of these.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about half these enemies now. We're gonna slow down a little bit here so we can kind of just damage, like, through him with the down stab. If you don't stop, like, slow down a little bit there, you take damage. Alright, so we're gonna grab this key, we're gonna head back this way, and we're gonna head down to the last hallway of this palace. I am expecting a drop here, I believe, either on the Chewy or the Stalfos, or the Red IK coming up. When I say Red IK, I mean the Red Iron Knuckle. Nice. Nice. We're gonna use that to beef up life here.
So if you know anything about Zelda, you know that Zelda has a lot of weird names for enemies, right? Like, you know, Iron Knuckle, you have, like, Dark Nut in other Zelda games, you have Stalfos, you have Tektite, you have Peace, you know, Octorok, which I guess Octorok makes a little bit of sense. So you know what the actual canon name for this boss is? It's not Helmet Head. It's Germafencer. Little fun fact for you. Jermafenser. He just went down pretty swiftly there.
Germafencer. Germs beware. Alright.
Germs spelled with a J. Germs beware.
Alright, so we're gonna kind of do like a... Nope. We got cheated and scammed here.
You legitimately have to just get lucky for this walk to work. Like, it's just kind of, it's kind of like a hold right and pray deal. As far as we know, there's no way to reliably do that walk. Some walks are like pretty close to 100% consistency. That one is definitely not one of them.
So now we're gonna come back up and remember that shield spell? Yeah, we're gonna come pick this shield spell up. And we're gonna start a nice little walk here to set up a walk to get us to Palace 3 without taking an encounter. Hopefully. Hopefully. Sometimes you get scammed. Game really loves to scam. We're gonna come pick up our shield spell here. One thing to note that we didn't touch up on, the way that spell mechanics works in this game, you have to press start. Like you'll see me pressing start quite frequently to kind of like refresh spells. And we want to be able to kind of minimize pressing start because you lose a second each time you press start. When you acquire a new spell, it actually refreshes your spell cast for you. And we want to utilize that to basically save us a menu here. Alright, so we're going to walk back there, and then we're going to step on this grass tile here, and we're going to avoid that encounter.
Swerve.
We're going to go down to second space here, we're going to walk down, enter King's Tomb, say hello to the lady, leave. And then we're just going to fall down this little grave here.
So avoiding encounters like Ice just did there is actually made a lot easier by sort of like offsetting your movement with theirs, waiting until they're on a half tile before you go ahead and advance, because it just gives them, quote-unquote, less time to react to what you do, or gives the enemies, it's kind of weird describing it this way, but it gives the enemies less time to react to you actually like moving on the grid, because it takes them longer to be on the same square.
Yeah, so enemies can only move on a full tile. So when we move on a half tile, they have to move to a full tile in order to. Oh, okay.
Nice.
They have to be on a full tile in order to move to where they're trying to get to. We skipped that first Tensu kill. It despawns one of the Mews there, but you know, I took damage anyway. You know, we didn't need beams. It's a crutch. Another instance of Tetris blocks there. They were very generous this time. And this room is very, very. If you do the same thing every time in this room, you'll get the same pattern. He throws an early. The Doom Knocker throws an early axe there. You just downstab through them, and then just keep going. Nice. It's fine. Alright. So, coming up is a very famous room, and it has lots of lava, and our favorite enemies, bots.
It is, bot lava room number 2, essentially, is what it is. A lot of runners will actually cast jump in this room, like both to and from, because you have to go through it twice, by the way. I don't think we mentioned that. Once to get to the raft, and once coming back from the raft as well.
I'm gonna wait here. We don't want to get scammed by the level up. You can actually, the level up there control you.
Oh. Okay.
Alright, so here's an instance of how broken your
downstab is, yeah.
Your downstab is.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's called the jackhammer, by the way. That strat is called jackhammering, the blue iron knuckle. So once again, taking advantage of the fact that there are basically 0 iframes on those enemies, and just repeatedly hitting down stab, and every time you press down, it hits.
Coming up here, we have the biggest scam of the entire run. So we this is actually called the Never Jar, and we got it.
We got it. We got the
Never Jar.
It's called the Never Jar because it never fails to spawn.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah, okay. They call it the never jar because whenever you need the jar the most there, it's a 50-50. So there's a 50-50 chance you get a red iron knuckle or a red jar. And we got the jar, shockingly. I don't know how. Guess we're playing on modified hardware here.
So that just provides a little bit of safety. You can like cast shield or life on Rebenek if you want to, but also it saves time on the refill at the end of the dungeon.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can save time by just having more magic at the end of a dungeon and have less refill time. Hey, also, we just hit $4,000, by the way.
I was actually just about to unmute myself and say that. Yes, we have just hit $4,000 raised for the Trevor Project. Thank you so much, everyone, for your generosity. Let's keep those donations coming in. And for those who didn't hear me before, I do apologize. Thank you to Games Done Quick for the raid, and hello to all raiders. We are the only marathon run by Fast-Paced Events, running for a few days non-stop to raise money for the Trevor Project. Be sure to check the two panels down below to donate and see what incentives you can put your donations towards. Again, thank you so much for all your donations. And is there actually a bit of time to read some of those donations?
Yeah. Can we explain Rebenek real quick?
Of course. Go ahead.
Even though, despite this boss is already dead, so Rebenek has a very special mechanic. If you get Rebenek stuck in the left corner, you can actually just pogo right on top of his head, and he just kind of sits there and accepts a free death.
Yeah. Also would like to point out that Rebenek had 3 health when he died.
Yeah. He died so fast.
Just dies with 3
Yeah,
health
he
sometimes.
died so fast that it looks like he still had health. But yeah, you can go ahead and do more donations. Sorry about that.
Of course. No, that's all good. Runner comes first. We do have a anonymous $5.68 donation. They say, I just found the stream, but I love the calls and the run. That made it an even number. Then we had Ori Sky come in with $2.35 saying, nice round number. Great. Also, good luck on the run, Ice. You're doing great and showing off all the lovely intricacies of the game. We also have a $5 donation here from Jivan Yatra. Great calls, great runner, great hosts, and great tech team. Heart, 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 heart. Thank you so much. You have time for a few more?
Yes.
Or not at the moment? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a bad spawn, that's all.
That's all good. We have an $83 anonymous donation, and they say, speedrunning streams are some of my favorite forms of entertainment. So I'm hyped for the next couple of days of this marathon. Thanks to all the runners, staff, and donators for supporting this wonderful cause. We also have a $82.65 donation from Mukomo with no comments, but thank you again for your generous donation, and thank you everyone for getting us over that $4,000 mark. You are all incredible.
Oh my god, that was ridiculous.
that was an incredible amount of encounters.
Remember earlier when I said that spawns can be predicted somewhat with enough experience in this game? Like, you can just sort of know what they're gonna do. Yeah, well, it turns out fairies' movement are completely random.
Yeah.
Like, fairies, honestly, fairy spawns in the overworld can ruin your walk completely. So yeah, if you hit them, because like they can just do whatever they want. If they happen to walk into you, that's that for the walk that you're trying to do. And there's a strat for that particular one, but the fairy completely ruined it.
Yeah, fairies just they move randomly, so there's no way of like controlling like how they react to the player on the overworld. And yeah, they're literally the worst encounter in the game, despite being something that's supposed to help you. All right, so this walk is called the Dazzle.
So
we have a very specific spawn setup that we do here, and we're just gonna walk in a very specific pattern and skip everything, and it sets up a nice spawn right here, which we didn't get a good spawn
with fairies, of course.
Yeah, no, so you may be wondering why we're stabbing on the screen. TJ, if you want to explain the stabbing.
Yeah, sure. So, actually, I meant to explain this on the last part as well. Nice lever, by the way. Nice lever spawn. So, like what enemies tend to do when you spawn in the overworlds, or like on their first spawn, is partially determined by how much time you spend in the previous underworld or 2D scroller screen. So stabbing there just helps us to get a certain time on that screen that coincides with the enemies aggroing you, like completely aggroing you. So that is super useful in that section because we have 2 segments there where we need to actually spawn enemies and get the encounter, get the force encounter on the same tile as the mob encounter, or vice versa. Get the mob encounter on the same tile as the force encounter, which skips the force encounter and saves a bunch of time there.
And we're actually gonna utilize that same kind of timing exiting this town by talking to the signpost. And it's a big thing with all the Z2 runners. You have 2 different signposts that you talk to. One says Mou, M-O-U, and then Well, W-E-L. And we're gonna use both of those 2 signposts. We use that in Darunia, which is this town here, and then we use that in, I forget, is it... Which one is Firetown? Nibiru, yeah. I usually just call them by their spell name. Firetown.
I'm the weirdo that actually says the names of the town.
Yeah, you weirdo.
By the way, fun fact, the sages in Ocarina of Time were all named after towns in Zelda 2.
Yeah, here, it's coming up here. So we're going to talk to the signpost coming up here, and it's going to say Mou.
Mou.
And that's going to set up a walk right here. We're going to get a homing encounter here.
Yep. Yep, so 4 slashes before you leave sets it up. Also, getting the timing on the back spawn like that is actually really hard. Like, Ice got unlucky and handled it very well there. And this walk is grueling. Oh, that was super unlucky how the big spawn just came back to you. Yeah, so now this walk is going to be completely improvised from here on. Well done so far.
Of course.
Oh, so yeah, so now, like, we were pausing in the forest there, just because, like, when you're in the forest, the spawns happen super close to Link, like 2 tiles away from Link, so it's really tough to react otherwise.
And yeah, we like to pause buffer.
Spawn
so
away.
Pause buffering on the overworld allows you to basically, like, kind of predict where the encounters are going to walk to. And we use pause buffering for forest encounters here. Which will allow us to kind of know, like, if we need to walk up, down, left, right to avoid those encounters. I unfortunately got unlucky with another set of encounters behind me, so we had a four group there.
Yeah, in other words, completely surrounded with nowhere to escape to, which can happen. It's happened a couple times on that screen even.
Yeah, that right before the bridge, there was like 7 encounters like surrounding me.
They just like actually cornered you up there.
Yeah. All right, so Palace 4, we're gonna pick up one of the strongest pickup items in the game. It allows you to walk on water, and that's gonna be useful for basically like skipping a lot of like walking on the overworld. This is probably one of my least favorite palaces, mainly because you can, if you take early deaths, you can't take your death abuses as aggressively in this palace.
Yeah, speaking of which, there will be at least 1 or 2 death abuses in this palace, so just be warned that there will be flashing lights along with the death animations. Good swag kill on the Doom Knocker. By the way, the enemy's called a Doom Knocker.
They had some really good names back in the day for these enemies.
Yep, so here's an intentional death.
Alright, we're only going to take 1 more intentional death here. So I'm actually going to refrain from casting the fairy spell on the boots here.
Yeah,
this is a
save the magic.
pretty good swag here to not have to stop moving. If you have sword beams, it's really nice. If you just kind of downstab bounce off the Tensu and just sword beam ahead, you could just kind of, you know, I'm gonna skip the level up here. We'll take life 4 afterwards. But yeah, you could use that sword beam to stop that that bubble from moving down towards you. Reason that we want to skip that level up there, or I'm sorry, reason that we wanted to save magic here, we're gonna need to be able to cast the jump spell 2 times here. We're gonna cast it once in this room, and we're gonna cast it once back at the entrance of the palace where we need to collect a key that's above us. Nice jar.
Nice little dance there.
Yeah. Nice jar, too.
Yeah. That's actually super nice.
Sir. Sir.
Ooh, that was, that had me worried for a second. In that room, it can be really easy to have, like, the Medusa-looking...
The Raws.
I forget. Yeah,
Raws.
I forget what they... Are they Raws?
Yes.
I thought these were Raws.
No.
By
Raws.
the way, those are called Raws. Like R-A. Ra.
What? Oh, I got visored.
Ooh. Okay.
Alright, I need to remember to take life 4 here. Life 4 just kind of, it sets us up with an XP, so we don't have to kill too many of the Magos in Palace 5 to get life 4 there. Because it could be a pain to get those to spawn properly. And we take less damage from Karok, which is, wow, they jumped 4 times. Incredible.
Yeah, Karok, the boss of this dungeon, is
very innovative.
It is one of the hardest bosses, like, ever.
Yeah, it's
in any video game. So,
it's the skill cap, like the skill gap between like Karok and like other bosses in this game is phenomenal.
It's massive.
All right,
yeah,
so
and you also need to enter with Reflect as well.
We have to kill that enemy there. If not, you literally, as you like enter that screen coming back, you take damage instantly. There's no avoiding it if you don't kill that thing.
Yeah, so we're looking good on experience.
Yeah, we're fine on the XP right now.
Yeah,
we're gonna refresh our jump spell because we're gonna take another intentional death, which is gonna bring my total up to $15 for oh god, donating. Which, if y'all are counting along on deaths, we are up to 2 deaths right now. So those who are joining in on the $5 donation per death, we're up to $10. We're gonna jump in very specific spots here to spawn the Raws in very specific spots.
There we go. One more death warp here. Yep, and leaving this palace with 2 lives is very good.
Okay.
Which means you're gonna have to first try Karok. You realize that?
Yeah.
As long as you're aware.
All right. Couple more hallways here. You have your traditional crumble bridge over lava pits with Muse. And then you have a couple of Stalfos in here. Big jerks. This guy can jump like that, and you instantly take damage. I should probably just like stop talking if I'm being honest.
This guy can jump. Immediately jumps.
Sure hope I don't get all right spawn Karoks.
All right, here we go.
All right, hardest boss in the entire speedrun.
Yeah, just the technical skill required for this boss is just immense.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
right. Oof. Ooh. Oh my god.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Incredible.
Okay. The joke is over. That was actually a super good fight.
That was like what, 8 warps?
Like, yeah. It's one of the best Karoks I've ever seen.
Oh, a thing we didn't point out. If you change your spells during that little jingle, it actually doesn't lose any time. I don't know why, but the game still moves forward in time. So the game has to play that entire jingle before it starts refilling life and counting XP. But if you change your spells on that screen while the jingle is playing, you actually don't lose time.
Alright, so now Ice is going to try something called Eco Key, or Ego Key, as I like to call it.
Give me some time to focus here.
Okay, Ice is going to cast Jump in a certain room, and damage boost up onto a platform that he's actually supposed to cast Fairy up there. But he's going to try and cast Jump to damage boost, and get the key in one fell swoop instead, so let's see how this goes.
I didn't.
That's okay.
I didn't arch it enough there. I think my jump was late.
That skip saves about 12 seconds. But like, yeah, the game intends for you to leave the screen and then come back and get the key, which is just peak game design, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why they didn't just put the key in the next room. Like, I feel like, I don't know. That's weird, but it allows for a cool speedrun skip, so.
Oh yeah. We have really cool kills here. You just kind of walk off and stab and they die. I think this is a jar. Nope. It's the next kill.
Yeah.
Alright, I gotta kill 2 Magos here. I need to get Magic 4. Or we can kill...
Yeah, these Magos can be deceptively hard to kill. So like we're just kind of waiting for one because they give 200 XP, and we really want to have Magic 4 for this next room because it like getting the magic level up just refills your magic.
I need Magic 4 for this.
Instead.
I need Magic 4.
Kill the bubble instead.
I don't want my XP to be too high.
This room without casting Jump is, well, just look at it. You'll be able to see why. Yeah, imagine that room without casting Jump. That's a hard one.
You have to wait until they're at the very top there. You know what? We're gonna do that.
Twice. But yeah, now that we've killed those Magos, though, we really don't have to worry about experience for the rest of the dungeon. Ordinarily, we'd have to kill them on the way, like at least one or two on the way, but now we don't have to. As a matter of fact, it's important to not kill too much at this point because
we want to set up. We want to set up a certain experience value before entering the next town. So the way that the level ups work in this game, whenever you're in a dungeon, a palace, or like an overworld encounter or a cave, whenever you take the level up, you get the do 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 do. But when you're in a town, the jingle is shortened to do 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 do. So if we take level ups, each level up saves 2 seconds because of how the jingle is. Weird game design, I know. But yeah, we want to take those level ups coming up in the next town because we're going to be taking a total of 4 level ups coming up after we toss this gem. Since we're already at attack 8, we want to boost up our life and magic levels here. Alright, so we're gonna push this guy into the door frame and murder him. We're gonna ferry that flute, or the plunger if you want to call it that. That plunger
It's a plunger with holes in it. It's not a very good plunger, I would imagine.
The plunger has 2 uses. We're gonna use that to, murder the river devil. And then we're gonna use that to spawn Palace 6. 3-eyed rock.
I really did think you were gonna say something else there. About what a plunger's actual usage is.
Yeah, gonna plunge me into the depths of the sea. My favorite. Mago spawns inside Link. Nothing you can do about it.
Yes.
A heart and a half of damage for no reason.
So yeah, just skipping all those Stalfos encounters, and that was swag right there.
Didn't even touch the floor.
Shoutouts to Iceblue.
That not touching the floor there with that key saves 9 years. So we're literally ahead by 9 years now.
Yeah. It is impressive, I will say, that back in 1987 they made a game with 9 years worth of content in it.
That's the NES for you.
Yeah. But doing that skips all of it. Just skips the whole bit of content.
Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. This is a speed run.
Good block.
Alright, we got Mago Lane here.
One thing I don't think we actually mentioned is that when you are in the air and you're holding down, no matter if you're holding a diagonal while holding down, you will not, like, change your momentum at all. So that's why Ice is able to, like, swing behind him and shoot a beam while not slowing down at all. Like, it's just holding down. Which makes for some really nice feeling combat.
Oh! Kind of beamed too early there. Oh, this is very important coming up here. If you don't break the blocks here to the soundtrack, your run is invalid, by the way. So we're gonna break the blocks to the tune here.
Nice kill on the Blue Iron Knuckle, by the way. Bum bum bum. I don't know how in sync that was with the song. But yours was for sure. Mine might not have been.
All right, so this is a nice P-bag. This is a boss.
Yeah, this boss is legitimately hard. I was joking about Karok if it wasn't clear, but Guma is actually very hard. Goma hits like a truck.
Even with the shield spell.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was what? That was 4 hits and a life cast?
Yeah.
And it's still down by half the health. A good fight though.
All right. So we have perfect experience here. So we're gonna let this build up to 9,000, and we're gonna use that 9,000 to get 2 life levels and 2 magic levels. But we need to grab this heart container before a very specific amount of experience. As long as the experience isn't over 6,000, we won't soft lock on this screen. Yeah. And when we enter this next town coming up, we're gonna take all those level ups on the town, and it'll save us some time on the jingle. So we're gonna come here and grab the fire spell. The spell is guarded by a lady who seems to be on house arrest. She asks Link to go and pick her up some water, and y'all, there's a water fountain literally 10 steps away from her house. But she doesn't want to go get it. So we just all assume that she's on house arrest. So like that's the lady right there. And then there's a fountain right here. We're gonna grab this water, we're gonna bring it over to her. And
part of me like thinks the canon is like she wants water that's not from the fountain, but she doesn't know. Like she doesn't know that it's from the fountain. Like she wants non-fountain water. You know, like fresh water. And so she just doesn't know.
Alright, so coming up here, a little bit of focus. I'm gonna try bufferless for fence skip. Or Wilson fence skip. And the reason that we call it the Wilson fences, if you've ever watched Home Improvement, you'll know the character from Home Improvement. His name is Wilson. And these Lizalfos, well, they're about half looking over a fence, and it looks kind of like Wilson. Well. Alright, so we're going to step on this very specific tile here. I think we got it. Nice!
Nice. Yeah, that was flawless.
So bufferless fence skip. Very, very fun to do. So here's Wilson fences. So you can kind of see when they first poke their head up. It looks like Wilson from Home Improvement. We're going to cast Fairy here. We're going to move over to Fire. Because we're going to use Fire at least once in this run.
Yeah, and if we're lucky, we'll get a jar drop as well in the Tektite Cave, which will help us to save a heal.
No, I think my drops are off.
No, okay.
Because I got a drop off the orange Iron Knuckle.
Ooh. Alright.
We take those.
Nice. Yeah, so what Ice actually did there was, he very briefly stepped into the bog, which makes it so that the encounters actually spawn farther away from him, instead of right next to him like they would in the forest tiles.
Ooh, whoa. He, like, ran off the ledge and then bounced right back on it. Interesting.
Also, thank you, Murdy. Thank you for that quote.
Alright, so since our drops are kind of off, we didn't get a 50-50 chance on a jar, so we have to take a magic refill here. It saves time in the long run, basically. But we also need we need at least 32 magic, which is 2 blocks, to be able to cast the spell here. The spell, that we're about to pick up here. And we need the spell to unlock the secret to New Kasuto.
So what is the magic word? Chat, what do you think the magic word is? Because it's never actually explicitly stated.
Is it, please?
Probably.
Hope so.
Politeness is key.
Alright. So every runner gets rated on their pose. So we're going to put up a nice little cool pose here.
That's a 7.
Alright, so
7 out of 10.
So we're going to use the fairy spell here to catch both the magical key here and the last magic container here that we're going to pick up at the front of town. Magic word is donate.
I like it. I like it. Alright, so last order of business here in New Kasuto is getting the final magic container, which you can only get by having the other 7.
Yes. Yeah, the game checks for how many magic containers you have upon talking to that NPC, and you need 7 magic containers in order to get the 8th magic container, and you need all 8 magic containers in order to acquire the final spell, which is required to beat the game. Because every wizard on the Eastern continent has a increasing amount of magic containers required to learn the spell. So Naburu requires 5, Darunia requires 6, New Kasuto requires 7, and Old Kasuto requires 8. Gotta be careful with my health here. Alright, we should be fine.
That is a trolly Tektite pattern.
Step once here.
Yep, so this manipulation is actually... This is one of the hardest walks in the whole run. Yeah, it's super tight.
I got one of the slinks, though.
Yeah.
Right, we gotta be careful not to get hard container skip here.
By the way, a slink is, so, how do I describe a slink? Basically, it's a method of making the, making an encounter sidestep you when it looks like it really shouldn't. So ordinarily, if something is like a tile and a half below you, it'll like see where Link is and move to the side for some reason. You can predict that. That is actually a predictable thing as long as it's not like aggroing you. I think even if it is, it might still be moving to the side. But yeah, you can pretty much rely on that.
All right, so
I'm called a slink. When
we're gonna take a damage boost here, hopefully. We're gonna hit him once, jump, and get bopped right over the pit.
Yeah, nice.
It saves the jump cast, because that jump it's a scary jump. It's a 4-tile jump, which is a very scary type of jump.
Yeah, if you fall in there, you have to fall through 4 other like falling screens to get back to that screen. They call that the infinite fall for that reason. But upcoming is a fall that is not infinite, although it feels like it.
It's an infinite time loss.
Yeah, so this is a hole. All right, so there's an invisible hole in the floor here, which we're gonna cast jump to get over. Right there, trust me. There was a hole in the floor there. Trust me. They call that the Canada hole, and there's a reason for that, and we're gonna go over that reason after this Rebenek fight here, Rebenek refight. So since we have much higher attack here, that Rebenek is a lot easier than the first Rebenek fight in Palace 3. So now we're gonna get the cross, which is gonna allow us to see invisible enemies. But the reason that hole is called the Canada hole is because one year, like back before I ran Zelda 2, one year, there was a tournament. There was a 100% all keys tournament.
It's like one of the first.
Every single Canadian runner fell into that hole at one point in the tournament, and so that hole was dubbed Canada.
Yeah, so whenever you fall into that invisible, I missed that jump. Whenever you fall into that invisible hole, basically you're taking a trip to Canada. But it's a massive time loss no matter which direction you fall in it. Yeah. The enemies down there are extremely trolly. There's like a bunch of Wizrobes into like a bunch of Stalfos. It's a bad spot to be in. Nice dodges.
And as far as I'm concerned, there's not anything that really even hints at it being there either.
There's an NPC that tells you about it.
Okay. Well, it's not like you're supposed to know where it is though. Like know exactly where it is. So like basically, I feel like almost every single casual playthrough would fall down there.
Oh, of course.
Like so yeah.
Sorry, Teach, no fire strats in this room.
It's okay. Sorry, you got extra magic as a result.
Gotta be careful here. These things are absolute jerks.
I think fire strats only save like a second or less in that room anyway.
Yeah, but it looks really nice.
It is swag.
Alright, so we're gonna jump into this pit.
Fairy. Just kidding. Yeah, you have to cast fairy here. If that wasn't obvious by just looking at the room.
Oof.
That's fine, you had magic to tank that.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I think every blue Stalfos that I've run into has jumped.
I think you're right.
Like, every blue Stalfos has jumped on me.
Alright, Rebenek fight number 3 now. This is exactly the same fight as the first refight.
Oh my goodness.
That was actually nicely done.
That was disgusting.
That was a good recovery.
So that was Rebo 3. Was Rebo 3.
That was Rebo 3 for only about a second and a half. It is no longer Rebo 3.
Alright, so this is my favorite kill in the entire speedrun. The jackhammer here on Barba.
This is extremely swag if Ice can pull this off. Ice is really good at this strat too. Goodbye.
So the way that Barba works, as long as you don't lose any frames upon entering that room, Barba will always spawn in the right lava pit. So we utilize that to know where Barba's gonna spawn, and we Just kind of murder Barba right in the face.
So yeah, that's another jackhammer, by the way. That's utilizing the fact that Barba doesn't actually have any, or many, if at all, iframes. And you can just repeatedly downstab and just completely obliterate Barba.
All right, this is like my favorite segment of the game, so I'm gonna go into like kind of like a focus mode if you want to kind of explain, because I will be trying to do beam strats.
Yeah, sure. So there's a fairly easy way to do this section, and there's also a very hard way to do this section.
We're taking the hard way.
Yeah, which is honestly pretty. It's okay. So it's high risk, low reward, which is like a lot of strats in this game. But if you're trying to optimize, this is more what you want to go for. So Ice is going to be trying to use beams across these bridges. Now, a newer runner might use Fairy to cross these bridges, but you want to keep magic if you can in order to avoid a magic pickup. So we're going to try to use beams across here in order to protect ourselves, and not quite keeping them, unfortunately.
That's fine.
So what we're going to do is we're going to just cast Fairy over the second one, and that's fine.
Yeah, actually, we want to be on spell. Just for backup here. Yeah, unfortunately losing beams there, just kind of, you have to, like, abandon the strat.
Yeah.
Because it basically, what we do that for is to save us taking a forced encounter coming up here to get a red jar.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things to do in this game, honestly, is keep beams through there. Like, that is extremely hard. And you actually got really bad RNG in that room as well. Like, you had, like, the 3 bullets.
Oh my god, come on!
Yeah. This stuff is really hard. Keeping beams here is almost impossible.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say almost impossible. It's just really, really hard.
Pretty bad RNG here.
Yeah, these rooms are absolutely brutal. And yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull a backup strat here, which is casting spell on each of these screens, the spell.
The downside is we have no magic entering GP.
Yeah, so saving a little bit of magic there where we can, but as a result, these spawns are going to be random.
Actually, you know what? Look at that.
That's fair.
I'm getting a lot of XP that I don't want. Because we wanna take Magic 8 and GP, and we want to take it in a very specific location. So getting too much XP might put me at a death. I have to take a death abuse.
Might want to go spell on the last encounter screen, and then kill the blue.
Nah, I'm gonna kill the aura with the red.
Oh yeah, that actually works too. Okay, cool.
Trying to conserve magic here.
Kill this last one. So yeah, the experience here is actually really it sets up really well for getting Magic 8 in Great Palace. Okay, so the downside to having so much XP though right now is that Ice can't actually kill anything without taking Magic 8.
Oh, by the way, can I get some Argic jams or Arg jams in chat, please? This is like the most fire beat ever.
I agree. This is the best song in the game for sure. There aren't too many songs in this game, but this is the best one. Great Palace is very long, very sprawling. Fortunately, we knew where to go, or else we'd be here for quite a while. But this palace really shouldn't take much more than 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah, 5 minutes is optimal. Alright, so I'm very worried about XP, because if we take Magic 8, I have to be, like, super conservative.
Also, I suck at typing emotes. Whoops.
I kind of almost want to take 2 bops from these things.
Yeah, these things eat XP. Alright, so yeah, these... Okay, so these enemies have a name that if I were to say them, I would be bordering on the PG-13 policy on this stream. So I'm just gonna go ahead and not actually say them. I'm not kidding, by the way. Look it up. Look up the names of those enemies. But basically, yeah, they can jump at you there.
There it is.
5 more books.
All right, so we're up to 20 bucks.
Yeah, the enemies in this place, although they are, like, they're relatively sparse, honestly, they are very tough. And this
Oh, no. Oh, thank God.
Okay, wow.
Oh, no.
You got the 1 in 6.
Oh, God.
This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Yeah, we're gonna farm for this jar. There we go. Alright. Cast jump here. We're gonna say hi to Scott Beekula, who's the name of this blue bird enemy. Just kind of wait from the jump. Somehow that hit.
Oh, God.
Come on, buddy.
I am getting absolutely robbed here.
Come on, blue guy. It's fine.
I'm trying my hardest not to kill anything. It's so bad.
Yeah, that, like I said, is the downside of having so much XP. Having Magic 8 here is it's not required, but it's definitely preferred.
It makes the second to last boss like a breeze.
Yeah.
I got both of the jumps there, which is awful.
Oh, that was a swag tank. Do you have enough for one more life cast?
No.
Might?
No,
Or...
I need 50. I think I can do this, though.
Yeah. And you know that your drops are aligned so that you can just kill both of the Mews and be fine.
Yep.
Alright, so we're gonna fall down here. This is not quite the last floor, but it's close.
Squish! Oh my... Really?
Oh, wow. That's really unlucky. Alright, so killing both of those Mews will get us to Magic 8.
I'm tempted to go get the jar just to be safe.
It might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, the health is a little bit iffy. That's a 50-50 spawn, by the way.
So we're fine for T-Bird, Dark Link.
Yeah,
All right.
Should be.
So we're gonna cast a series of spells here. Shield, Jump, Reflect. Reflect actually breaks this fight, which is funny.
Yeah, it really makes your hitbox small. Like, I'm not sure why it works, but like it makes it really honestly kind of hard to get hit by the fireballs.
Yeah, it actually shrinks Link's like actual hitbox by like a very large margin.
Yeah.
That was a very good T-Bird fight.
Thunderbird. It was. So yeah, that was the Thunderbird fight, and now we have nothing else to do but Dark Link is and time is actually going to come up pretty soon. After Dark Link is dead, Ice is going to move to the right, and as soon as Link stops, that is when time ends, so just be ready on time. We're just going to do corner strats here.
He is being frisky.
Yeah, Dark Link can do basically whatever, but he will generally do one of a couple things.
And time.
Time. That's time. GG's. Good run. I'm actually looking at the restream. It looks like it's
a 120-21 on my end.
it was close to a sub 80.
Yeah.
But yeah, good work. Nice run.
Yeah, that is Zelda 2. Done in 1 credit clear. 100% of the items, 100% of the spells grabbed. We do not require to be, max level 888. As far like, for the 100% clear. It just requires all the pickups and all the spells. But yeah, I want to give a big shout outs to everybody that's been behind the scenes and helping set up this marathon. It's a really wonderful cause. I didn't have the honor of actually like speaking to Kid, but I've heard nothing but wonderful things about them. So this marathon, just like the cause behind this marathon, the Trevor Project and everything, it's just a wonderful, wonderful cause. So if you have the ability to donate to it, which I will be donating $20 for the 4 deaths that we took in this entire run.
And same here.
But yeah, a big shout outs to everybody behind the scenes and all the staff members and the helpers and the volunteers that helped get this marathon going and getting everybody through tech checks, getting everybody through games decisions and things like that. Thank y'all so much for everything. Big shout outs to my co-commentator TGH.
Shout outs to you too.
Wonderful person. One of my best friends. Just it's overall, he's a great person. If you aren't following Teach, please go follow him.
Follow Ice too. Here, wait, let me do this. I'm a mod. I can do this.
I'm a mod.
Go follow Ice as well.
But yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity to showcase this game. This is one of my favorite games on the NES, and it's one of it's in my top 3 favorite speedruns. I highly recommend it if you like combat like this. It's a very satisfying game to get combat down, and it's super, super enjoyable. To actually have a run come together. But yeah, thank you for the opportunity to showcase this, and let's get these donation hypes going. I'll be, like I said, I'll be donating $20. If you've been keeping up, we did die 4 times, so if you're keeping up and you want to donate with us, it's $20. But thank y'all very much. I appreciate it.